What is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's Jesse Spec YouTube video. Today we're in a little bit different environment. I'm at home today, to be honest, and I'm filming the intro from here. This week's episode is super unusual and probably the weirdest episode ever. You know me, I love tuning and modifying cars, and today we're gonna do exactly the opposite of that. We're gonna detune and put back stock the GT86 in order to improve its daily driver abilities and make it more comfortable for a daily usage. So without further ado, join me and let's take a look at this super weird episode. Peace. Okay, welcome to this video. So we're going to be removing the exhaust, but before that, let's take a little listen at what the engine sounds like with this exhaust. I'll also do a few acceleration. I'll push a few times on the accelerator and also do it in launch control, and let's compare it after with the stock exhaust. Enjoy. Okay, first step, jack up the car and loosen all the bolts to remove the exhaust. It's a bit of a shame. I love this exhaust, but it's a bit loud for daily driving. As you can see, removing the exhaust is actually quite easy. You don't even need a hoist, you can just do it on your jack stands. This exhaust is like maybe 8 years old already, and other than being dirty, it really is in pristine condition. I'm really surprised by how good the quality is of this. So let's put back the stock exhaust now and see how it sounds. Exhaust in, and let's put the car back down. Oh my goodness, the cold start is like even louder than the Apexi one. And honestly, after testing, of course you will see it will quiet down considerably and be really silent, but the Apexi's main problem is it would drone really severely when under long driving, so this is why I removed it in the first place. Still pretty loud, so let's hope it doesn't drone too much. Now, I just removed the passenger bridge seat, and I'll be removing the driver's seat as well, as you can see here. And let's put back the stock seats into the car. I had to get the buckles off the bridge seats and put them back on the stock seats in order to install the seat belts correctly. Passenger seat in, it's looking good, so let's go for the rest. It's too bad that I have to remove this seat, because from a finishing and the quality of these seats are simply amazing, but for my size and weight, I just don't fit in them. And so I decided to remove that seat. It's been sold, by the way. So here you see the seat is out. It's a BRZ GS2, by the way. And now I'm gonna need to clean the interior as well. So now let's see with the stock seat in how it looks. Yeah, looks nice and stock again. The car needs a good clean, and the steering wheel is still also aftermarket, but it still looks pretty good. A few days have passed. I finished some things in the interior, but now there's still some things that have to be done on this baby. So we have the mirrors still, and we have also the steering wheel that I want to remove. That cold start is absolutely super loud. I don't know why, to be honest. However, when the car is warm and it's idling down at regular speeds, it becomes very quiet, so that's all good. Alright, the next step that we're going to do here is remove the roll cage that you can see here in the back. One could call it a semi-roll cage or a harness bar, because it's not really that's going to protect you when you turn over. But as you can see, it's fixed here in the center where the seatbelt buckles are, and the other two B-pillar parts are fixated where the seatbelt is hooked in towards the B-pillar. So that's what we're going to remove, and we're going to take it out carefully of the car. All right, let's get the roll cage out of here so we can have passengers in the back again. Here are both feet. Let me turn off. So here we have both feet that go behind the seats. And here we have the roll cage. It's all good. Honestly, the roll cage was really easy to take out. What's really important if you ever do that is protect your interior and make sure you do not scrape anything, because the slightest touch of one of these pieces of metal on your interior trim will make huge scratches, so make sure to be careful with that. Put back the seat belts. This roll cage was fixed in between the seat belt latch and the chassis, so it's just have to put back the screws in there and it will be back like so. Same thing on this side as well. Okay, next thing we have to do, put back both seatbelt buckles on the back, because the rear C-pillar roll cage feet were actually fixed to that point and the previous owner removed these. So let's put these back as well so we can safely accommodate passengers in the back. Short passengers, I should say. Let's do that now. So here we see the roll cage is out, all good. And we see here, I have to put back the buckles on both sides, and then we'll be good to go. have the seat belts back installed, all good to go. Can go for a drive with 4 people in the car now. Next up, steering wheel removal. I'm gonna take off this quick boss and I'm gonna reinstall the stock steering wheel that you see there. Let's do that now. Now remove the 19mm socket here. It's not 19, it's 17. But before doing that, always make sure your steering wheel is perfectly in the center. So we're gonna just make sure. As you can see here, it's not in the center. So in order to get the, make sure we don't make a mistake here, I'm just gonna start quickly the car. So quiet. So here with the power steering, I got it perfectly in the middle. See, like this. And this is how we have to put it back after. So I'm gonna cut it off here. Quickly get my 17mm socket. Okay, this is exactly what happens many times with these bosses and when you remove the stock steering wheel. So let me just show you one trick quickly. And we're just gonna go. I need a little bit of force on it in order to get this done, but so we put a few screws back on. Normally I could have done it right away with this, with the other steering wheel on. The point is just that we have enough threads in to make sure it holds in. No need to re-screw it completely. Let's add a third one for stability. Like this. This is a good little trick you can use to when you need to remove a hub or something that is stuck on, like this case. So put this back on. What you do is you hit the steering wheel sideways like this. And there we go. And then we see it came off. To be honest, it's the first time it happens to me with an aftermarket steering wheel boss, but I guess there's a first to everything. I usually have this problem with stock steering wheels rather than with aftermarket hubs, but anyway, so at least this video can help you if you ever need a trick on how to remove a steering wheel boss that is stuck. This is my trick. So see here, now it moves. I can remove my screw here, take it off, and we're good to go. Voila. Now we get back this one. Let's turn off electricity. So I put my steering wheel well up in the middle. Remove the airbag, anti-airbag fuses as well. And then we're gonna go in here with this. So really important to put it back straight on top like it was before. So the steering wheel was perfectly in the middle. I'm gonna have to do that again. Voila. Okay. Steering wheel in the middle. Put back all the grommets and everything. Let's just check if I didn't forget to plug in anything behind. So as I said, normally it's the stock steering wheel that acts like a you-know-what to remove. So easiest way, you unlock the nut in the middle, hit it a few times and then it comes off. That's a super good trick. I use that very often actually. So let me just see if I forgot anything behind here. No, I think we're good. Okay, so this is the middle. And by the way, you will see that if when driving the steering wheel is just one notch aside, that is typically that you got it wrong to begin with. So let's tighten this. This is the main security element. Don't need to tighten it either like a mad person. Okay, that's enough. Okay, and now let's see what we have here. Alright. And now the little bit dangerous part is the airbag part. Okay, so do not mess around with these kind of things. So I'm gonna get out of the way of the airbag just because I don't want it to explode into my face. Really important, be careful with this because people have actually died. So be careful, okay? So let's, I just want to see before I put everything back together. Oh, what a pain this thing. So this will come into the airbag. I'll keep that for the end. And this one will come here on this pin here. I'm just trying to figure out how it was attached. The whole thing? Which screws hold this thing in? Okay, so that's the hunk. It works. Okay, welcome back. I just so you know, I disconnected the battery. That's why you see the hood is open here. And it's really important with your foot to push on the brakes a couple of times and let the battery discharge, let the residual electricity be dissipated, because we really do not want this airbag to explode into your face when you're working on the car. So since I clipped it back in just to see how it would hold into the car, and since I never have taken them around, I had to go look at the Toyota manual, workshop manual, to figure out how to do it. And as you can see, okay, so I figured it out now. You take a screwdriver here, and there's one hole underneath. I like to start with this one. And what you're going to do is you're just going to insert the screwdriver there, and there's a spring. You just have to push on it, tap it lightly, and it will unhook the bottom. There you go. So it's out now. Okay, so I've disconnected the ECU, I've disconnected the battery, so now it's safe I've pumped the brakes, and now it's safe to install the airbag. Just because I'm a bit paranoid, I'm actually going to stand outside and not in front of the airbag in case it blows up in my face, because you never know. So here, first one, we put this one. This is going to be the negative terminal for the hunk. By the way, if you do it without disconnecting the battery, when pushing it back in, you will have the hunk that it will also go crazy. So yeah, all right, so let's put this in here. Just watch out. Okay, and then here you see there's a button. You put this like this, and make sure the cables all go in the right direction. And this, basically, when you hook it in, it should hold. There we go. So this is ready. So I'm just going to put the battery back on and see if everything works. Okay, final check. Let's turn on the electricity. Hunk works. So let's try starting it. All good. All good. No airbag lights on. Car is running perfectly. Let's see if the buttons down here work as well. Yep, everything's working. All good. Perfect. We're done here. Okay, now that we put back the steering wheel in, I'm gonna remove these APR mirrors. They are awesome. The steering wheel was too, by the way. But anyway, for street usage, I think it's good to have practicality over look, and yeah, anyway, let's remove these.
So at this point, you need to remove the door cards. There are 3 main screws that are hiding behind the upper door latch and the side panel that is really made for opening and closing the door. There are 3 screws in total, and the rest are clips, so you just need to pull it out and it will come out by itself.
First screw in the door handle, the top one. Then you have, I should say, the door latch. And then you have 2 screws that are in the door handle itself under the plastic cover. For the, can you see it in the video? Maybe just barely. This is the plug for the mirrors. So
what is going to happen is I'm putting back the gasket and I'm going to pull the cable through the door there and plug it back into the stock plug that I've been showing you just before. And then once all that is done, all I need to do is put the door card back on and clip everything, screw the 3 screws in and put the little plastic cover back on, and I'll be done on this side.
I'll spare you the second side and I'll just do it. Skip.
Okay, the mirrors are done, and remember, one point that was bothering me was that the suspension was really too hard for road driving. What's awesome with these BC-Racing Coil-overs is that I can actually adjust stiffness at the top of each damper. So as you can see here, the arrow going towards the left means soft. So to begin with, I'm gonna go on full soft on all 4 corners of the car, and I will see if that will improve. What I could tell is I was already at the max on stiff, so honestly I didn't even look at that when I received the car, so that should have been the first thing I look at in order to improve comfort. Let's go back to the rear now and soften it up as well and see if we can improve comfort in the car. On the GT86 or BRZ, you can see that by removing this little piece of plastic interior trim, you can right away access the damper softening setups, and that makes it really easy to adjust even with a full interior. Alright, so we got all of it done. It's true, it does give it a much more OEM finish with the stock mirrors, the interior as well, and we finally have rear seats again. Let's take it for a drive next time.
Alright, we've made it to the end of this episode. Thank you so much for watching my video. I really appreciate all the support that you guys always give me. This week's video has been a little bit unusual and totally the opposite to what I usually do. I usually modify cars, and this time we actually did the opposite. We detuned the car and actually made it more stockish, put it back to stock in order to improve the daily driver abilities of it. So anyway, it's a totally different concept and something very opposite to what I'm used to do. I hope you enjoyed it anyway, and next week we'll actually take the car for a test drive and see if all the things we did actually improved the overall drive feeling of the car. And yeah, I'll give you some feedback on that. So without further ado, I want to thank you for watching again, and if you haven't, feel free to subscribe to my channel if you like car related content. And I'm not gonna blabber on much longer. This episode is long enough, and I will see you next week in the next one. Peace.